Hi guys, thanks for coming down today. My name is Zen. I'm one of the co-founders of Torus. And Torus is basically frictionless logins for dApps. So yes, this is us, ETHBoston. I'm super excited to see all the hacking that's been going on so far. And I'm just here to introduce what we do. So basically what Torus is that we are a replacement for MetaMask. We are a web wallet. The interface is exactly the same as MetaMask for what a developer would get. So the advantages of using Torus over MetaMask is that, for one, a user doesn't have to download a Chrome extension, and secondly, you get an interesting name resolver. So how does this work, and why can Torus do this? Also, I guess users can log in via Google accounts relative to creating an account on MetaMask, having to understand seed phrases, having to understand public-private key pairs. We try to abstract that all away from the end user to provide them with a very seamless experience. So why we can do that and how Torus works behind the scenes is we use this scheme we build on this thing called Shamir secret sharing. And what this means is we split a user's key into multiple different shares. These shares are kept on a network of nodes, which are run by large ecosystem stakeholders, like working from Ethereum Foundation, Binance, several other large ecosystem stakeholders like Kyber as well. And we basically use DKG to generate these keys in a distributed manner. When a user logs in via OAuth, so this can be a Google login, this can be a Twitter login, it can be a Facebook login, it doesn't really matter. What we do is we send the auth token to the backend nodes. These nodes, kind of in MPC style, verify your auth token against, let's say, Google public key. They return shares, which you sum up only in the front-end context of the browser. So this key is only held in memory. When you close your browser, the key is destroyed. It's not kept anywhere on your laptop, and the key is only ever loaded in a secure iframe context, which is kind of verifiable through a SHA integrity hash. Yeah, so that's how we work. And what this means for you guys is you guys can integrate us. Our docs at docs.tor.us. It's basically, you guys can either use the one-line script tag to include Torus, and you guys instantly get a Web3 instance. That was the way people used to do it, but nowadays with people having multiple wallet providers and a lot of wallets in the space, if you're looking to integrate Torus with other wallets, I would recommend going for the NPM package over here. This one gives you a provider, and which you can wrap around the Web3 library that they're using. And it's like the standard way that you just get a Web3 instance. And then you can start interacting as you would normally. So you can ask for submissions of transactions, you can do ETH calls, everything. So that's not very cool, because we're all used to that, right? We're all developers, we've all coded MetaMask, using Web3 is not awesome. I just want to get something coded and get that out. So what is cool with Torus is that because we map OAuths or logins to public-private key pairs, we also have a name resolver. So basically this is the API, and this is what you would get. So if I would enter in anybody's email, this is inclusive of somebody who's registered on Torus and somebody who's new and who hasn't registered on Torus. So if I just put in a string here, I can get a public-private key pair. No, sorry, not the private key, just the public key. The public key of somebody who you basically want to interact with. So a very simple example of how I would use this name resolver is that if I wanted to send, sorry, what's your name?
James.
If I wanted to send James, hi, nice to meet you, James. I guess we'll talk later. So if I wanted to send James like ETH, I would just get his Gmail address. I would name resolve it to a public address, and then I would send that public address ETH. And only James can access that ETH ahead of time. So this is a very simple explanation of, like maybe dealing with an address. But you can do a lot of nifty things with this. You don't even have to interact with blockchain. Because these are public-private key pairs, you guys could be doing implementing signatures on top of it, doing interesting things like ring signatures, P2P communication through encryption. The possibilities are endless. And that's what you guys should play with, because this is more fun. So right now we're integrated with Google, but in the future we'll be integrated with several other OAuths as well. Coming down the pipeline is Facebook, as well as WeChat. We're integrating GitHub as well. And you guys will be able to name resolve to those things. So you'll be able to name resolve to your GitHub handle. name result to your face panel, and all of that. Yes, and we have prizes. It's we ultimately have 6 prizes. So there's one grand prize, which is going to be 2,000 USD, and the 4 runner-ups get 1,000 USD each. This is the criteria. Of course, you guys have to integrate Torus to be eligible for this. The first one is just the best DApp. Second one is the DApp which fills the industry need. Third one is the one that's the most seamless. Fourth, the one with the best overall UX. And last but not least, the DApp with the most creative design. So please do integrate with Torus. Any questions, guys, before I move on? So no questions right now. But we also have an online hackathon. So I'm shilling this as well. You guys can double apply. We don't mind. So what you guys hack on here, you guys can apply to an online hackathon as well. It runs through September and ends just before DevCon. And like, yeah, you guys can, it's like double the possibilities of winning, right? So I think right now we have our team back there as well. Chai is our lead product engineer. If you guys have any trouble with integration, feel free to just talk to Chai or myself. We'd be free to help out. And I think that's all we have, although we have a lot more time. We can like walk around and help you guys with integration. So does anybody have any questions before we do that? No. Cool. It was nice talking to you guys. Oh, okay. I have a demo to show you guys. So this is a DApp which was created on Torus before. You know, if this was a DApp which used MetaMask, you would have to download the Chrome extension. You see, I have no MetaMask. Now, and to log into this DApp, it's a flow which users are already very used to. I can just log in via Google, just like this. What's happening in the background is the authentication is happening. I'm aggregating shares. They're coming back, but Wi-Fi is slow. And there we go. I'm logged in. It's just as simple as that. It's like a Web 2.0 app, which is what we really should aspire to be. Okay. Cool. Thank you guys.
Do you know your address before you log in?
Yeah. Yes, you do. How it works behind the scenes is you are literally mapped an ETH address.
So you as a user?
You as a user are mapped a public key. The private key is never reconstructed before you log in, but after you log in, it's reconstructed in the iframe context in the browser. Yes?
Could you, in theory, let's say, send ETH to someone who hasn't even created an account with Torus yet?
Exactly.
They just have a Gmail account?
Yes, you can. That's the main use case of the result. Right? So it's, I guess it's onboarding tool. In general, we aim to become like the fast key. We want to be the bridge between Web 2.0 world and the Web 3.0 world. And that's kind of where we go with this. Anything else?
Demo.
Good.
Wallet.
Wallet? Oh, yeah, I guess we can show it. So Chai works really hard on our wallet. So he wants to explain to all of you guys.
It's very, very small.
It's definitely very well done, I have to say. I mean, self-praise is no praise, but you know, you guys can give me an excuse for now. But yeah, with all the wallet features, you can sign signatures, you can do ETH calls. Coming up soon would be a transaction firewall. So you guys would be able to, kind of like permissions, you guys would be able to basically not bother the user with pop-ups every time. On approval of the DApp, you could like trigger transactions freely after that, and that provides for a much better user experience in general. We also basically have all your typical like tokens here. And I mean, just to show you guys something in action, who's Gmail, who wants ETH? What's your Gmail address?
Let's do alex@squarelink.com.
Okay. So, Alex actually has logged on before, I think. Or have you not?
I'm not sure if I did it with my Squarelink email.
Okay.
We'll see.
I hope that this is a new account because then you guys can really see. But as you can see, I'm sending to an email address, and I'm not sending to a public-private key pair. And I confirm the transaction, and it's here. So if
I'm rich.
yeah, if Alex logged in now, he'd receive the ETH, even before he has interacted with ecosystem before. Yeah.
Sorry, can you say the last part again?
Basically, you can interact with somebody even before they log into the ecosystem.
Even before, what if they don't have a wallet yet?
Even before they don't have, even before they have a wallet.
Because you set up the pairing between the Gmail or
And
the,
another private key pair.
and where's that private key stored?
So that private key is, are you familiar with Shumia secret sharing? So just a brief refresher on Shumia secret sharing. It's really quite simple. Do you know how when you have a graph and you have a line on a graph, if you have one point on that line, you can't define the line, right? But if you have 2 points, you can define the line. This is true for like higher powers of x. So when we're talking about like x squared, 3 points. X cubed, you need 4 points, and the list goes on. For us, the public-private key pair is always, or actually more of a private key, is always the y-intercept on this function. These points are generated in a distributed manner via a scheme called distributed key generation. It's an implementation from 2004. I think, no, it's not Stephen Goldfeather's one, but it's very similar. And basically these points are split across a network of nodes. So the nodes are permissioned right now. You can compare the model to be very similar to Libras. It's basically large ecosystem stakeholders run nodes. And these guys are Virgil from Ethereum Foundation, Binance runs a node, kind of network, several others, the list goes on. And, yes?
So in the example you just showed us, or the demo you just showed us, where you send somebody who doesn't have any wallet, some F, let's say, does Torus have a service that notifies them that they've just received?
So that's coming up. It's coming up.
So
Chai, when is it coming out?
Next sprint.
Next sprint. 2 weeks.
That's possibly something to build this weekend.
For sure. Oh yeah. No, actually, if you guys build it for us, we'd be really glad. Like, no, for sure. You guys can definitely leverage it and build it. It doesn't just have to be like email notifications. When we get like, let's say Twitter integrated, it can be tweets, it can be DMs through that. Something which we are working on as well is opening the API scopes to the dApps themselves. So right now the API scopes are kept within our iframe. So whilst you guys can access some information like the name, the profile information on the user's approval, you guys can't access, like, you guys aren't open to, let's say, sending a Gmail, a email out via the Gmail client or accessing their Google Drive. But we're looking to generalize the API scope such that you're able to do this and leverage on the OAuths as well, so that you can like do more nifty things, like I don't know, do something with Google Drive. I think we'll just like cut it here and help out people with integrations and stuff like that. We have some shirts to give out.
Oh, love shirts.
Last few shirts, it's limited edition, guys. They won't be printed again. And we also have a YouTube channel. Okay, we have a YouTube channel.
No, I think there's a short books. Sorry, on the last slide.
This one.
Further down.
This one. The YouTube channel, please do subscribe. We have a Twitter account, please do follow. I have no followers. I really need to. Singapore is not just Twitter. It's just when I try to import my friends, I have like 10 followers, and I've been working my way up from there. But I really appreciate you guys following me as well.
What's your Twitter handle?
It's Zhen Yu. So it's Zen.
Okay.
That's my face. Okay. Thanks, guys.